Ladies and gentlemen, it's Lily Hensby. Grab your popcorn, grab your margaritas. We're going to the fucking movies. What's up, everybody? How are we? Little bit of a rebrand on the old pod, if you noticed. The pod is now called They Talked the Whole Time. And you got to read it like that, in like a real pissed off, passive aggressive, like, we went to the movies, right? And there was this blonde bitch. They talked the whole time. Today we're going to watch Jurassic motherfucking Park.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
This movie has everything. Dinosaurs, lawyers, 90s fashion. 1993, directed by Steven Spielberg. Spielberg brings the unforgettable characters of Michael Crichton's bestseller to life. Yes, it was a book. The book is random. The book's more like, I'm just gonna assume that everybody knows the Jurassic Park universe, the JPU, and assume that you've also seen the second one, The Lost World. I guess the book is more like The Lost World, where you've got those characters and it sort of opens with the opening scene of that, with the rich family on the beach and the little girl gets fucking attacked by the little compies. If you know, you know. If you don't, sorry. So the guests of a theme park featuring genetically engineered dinosaurs must battle to survive when the dinosaurs break free. Fucking all-star cast. Sam Neill. September 14. He is a Virgo. Laura Dern is an Aquarius, and she's born the day after my mum, and I get like such mum vibes from Laura Dern, and it's because she is my mum. Jeff Goldblum, October 22. He's a Libra. Of course he's a fucking Libra. Richard Attenborough, August 29. I'm going to say that's a Virgo. Who else is important? Oh yeah, BD Wong, October 24. A Libra Scorpio cusp. Ooh, freaky. Joseph Mazzello, he is September 21. That's a Virgo. Lots of September people. October people. Ariana Richards, she plays Lex. She's bloody September 11. She's a fucking Virgo as well. Enough. What a fucking sick cast. And we've got Samuel L. Jackson, December 21. That would be a Sagittarius. And Wayne Knight Newman, he's a Leo. Fuck yeah, he is. All right, let's go. Let's fucking watch this. As a child, I had a version of this that mum and dad taped off Channel 7, so I had to fast forward through the ads on a VHS. If you're old enough to know what a VHS is, you know what I'm talking about. All right, the font of this movie as well, iconic. And the opening score is real scary. I also have the Lego Jurassic Park Nintendo game. It's incredible. Opening scene, nighttime. Trees rustling. There's a bunch of dudes with hard hats on that say Jurassic Park. And we've got Muldoon with a massive gun and a cowboy hat. No, more of a safari hat. No, more of a hunting hat. He's got a hat on. And there's this massive fucking container, metal container, coming through the trees on a forklift. Whatever's in the container is going to go into this pen. So we're locked. Let's go. Gatekeeper, open the gate. So this guy climbs up on top of the container. We get a little shot of inside the container and it's like growling and snarling. So the guy opens the gate and this thing runs towards the door, but it wasn't locked in properly. So a little gap forms between the pen and the container, and old mate gatekeeper falls off. And everyone's like, fuck. And then something pulls him into the container. And everybody else is like around the container, electric shocking whatever's inside. And this guy, they're trying to pull the guy back and he's screaming. And it's just very traumatic for this guy because he's clearly getting... I mean, there's a velociraptor in there, by the way. You'd probably know that.
Shoot her!
Shoot! shooter, shoot the raptor. And Gatekeeper's arm disappears, dead. And then it cuts to the best shot. It's this like wooden raft with a rope, and someone's pulling it over this little lake thing, and on top of it is the lawyer who, what's his name? Gennaro, and he's like suited up. And we're in Mano de Dios amber mine in the Dominican Republic. So the lawyer's like, we're facing a $20 million lawsuit by the family of the worker that we just saw got fucked up. I need to see Hammond. And the guy I work in the mine is like, I don't know what to tell you, bruh. Well, he's not here. He had to leave early to be with you. I've never actually engaged with what's happening in this scene. And I've seen this movie since I... probably, once a year since I was 5, and I don't know what this scene is about.
What's this here at the airport? Hammond's not even here?
He sends his apologies.
We are facing a $20 million lawsuit by the family of that worker, and you're telling me that Hammond can't even bother to see me?
Oh, that's what he's saying. He's like, okay, well, can you tell Hammond that, if we want legal approval of the park being opened, we're going to have to get some people to come and sort of investigate if the park is safe enough. So I've got Ian Malcolm. We also want to get Alan Grant. And the guy's like, Grant? You'll never get him out of Montana. And then Miner Guy, he holds up this piece of amber, and there's a little mosquito trapped in the amber. Okay, then we cut to a bone in the ground being dusted away. I've always wanted to be an actor, an entertainer, a star, but top hat and cane. But for a period of time, I was like, I'm going to go be a paleontologist. Dr. Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler. What a beautiful partnership. All right, so they've got this new technology that can sort of like, I don't know what it is. It can puncture into the dirt and sort of give a computerized version of the bones that they found. Yeah, they're like, in a few more years, we won't even have to dig anymore. We'll just fucking, x-ray the ground. And then there's this little fucking kid who brought a kid to a fucking dig site. And he's like, that doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey. Grant is like, a turkey. Okay. Fucking imagine yourself in the Cretaceous period.
You stare at him, and he just stares right back. That's when the attack comes, not from the front, but from the side. From the other two raptors, you didn't even know were there. And he slashes at you with this 6-inch retractable claw, like a razor, on the middle toe. He doesn't bother to bite your jugular like a lion, say. No. He slashes at you here, or here. Or maybe across the belly, spilling your intestines. Point is, you are alive when they start to eat you.
Pack hunters. Guys, if there were dinosaurs roaming around, I would love it. 1, I'd be obsessed. But 2, I would shit my pants every single day. I'm tough, but I ain't that tough. Okay, a helicopter comes to the dig site and it's fucking pushing dust everywhere. And so Alan runs down to the little trailer and he opens the door and he's like, what the hell do you think you're doing? And it's John Hammond, and Sam Neill's expression changes. He's like, oh shit. So then Ellie walks in and she's like, who's the jerk? And he's like, Ellie, this is Mr. Hammond. And she's like, oh, did I say jerk?
I own an island off the coast of Costa Rica. I've leased it from the government, and I've spent the last 5 years setting up a kind of biological preserve. Really spectacular, spared no expense. Our attractions will drive kids out of their minds. We're going to open next year, that is if the lawyers don't kill me first. I don't care for lawyers, do you?
I
Don't really know any. Well, I do, I'm afraid. There's a particular pebble in my shoe, represents my investors. Says that they insist on outside opinions.
What kind of opinions?
Well, your kind, not to put too fine a point on it. I mean, let's face it, in your particular field, you're the top minds. And if I could just persuade you to sign off on the park, get your endorsement, maybe even pen a wee testimonial, I could get back on schedule.
Why would they care what we think?
What kind of park is this?
It's right up your alley.
I tell ya, he fucking undersold the fuck out of the park. We cut to this little cafe. Then we see Wayne Knight, Newman. I don't care what movie he's in. He's Newman. Cool. So Newman's explaining that he has a plan to get these embryos of the dinosaurs off the island to San Jose to this guy who's going to give him fucking $2 million to get all these embryos off. InGen is like the big company that sort of sponsors John Hammond's work, and they are fucked. So this must be like their rival company. We see a helicopter going over the ocean, and in the helicopter, we've got Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, the lawyer, and Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum.
Dr. Sattler, Dr. Grant, you've heard of chaos theory?
No.
No? Nonlinear equations? Strange attractors?
And then we get that laugh. You guys know what I'm talking about? Ha 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 ha.
You'll have to get used to Dr. Malcolm.
All right, the helicopter is landing and it looks terrifying. Is that how helicopters land? It's like turbulence times 1,000. So this was filmed in Hawaii, and you can go to the place where they filmed the big running scene with the, oh God, what are those dinosaurs called? I don't know, the antelope type ones. Then these two Jeeps rock up. We're going through the park and there's these massive metal electrical fences. Nothing will get out, nothing will get in. Okay, so the Jeeps have pulled up to this sort of big field, and in the car, Ellie is holding a massive leaf, and she's like, I can't believe this leaf exists. Like, this plant went extinct fucking years ago. Years and years and years, millions. This is an old school plant from the Cretaceous period. So also, Cretaceous is the actual period when like a T-Rex was around. Jurassic was before that. So from about 200 million to 145 million years ago, that was the Jurassic period, and that ushered in birds and mammals. And then the Cretaceous period from 145 million to 66 million years ago is when a Triceratops and a Pteranodon and, you know, T-Rex, all the big dog players were there. And then Triassic is even older than Jurassic. So it goes Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. But I think Michael Crichton was like, Jurassic just sounded better. So, cool. Fuck yeah. Right, so yeah, Ellie's looking at this leaf, and then Alan Grant turns his head, and he's like, oh my God. And then Ian Malcolm looks over and he grabs his chest, and Grant takes his hat off, stands up, like standing up in the Jeep, and then takes his sunnies off, and his expression is pure magic. And Ellie's still looking at the plant. She's obsessed with this fucking leaf. And then so Grant turns her head, grabs her head, turns it, and she is gobsmacked. She stands up too. Her face, the acting, it's incredible. Cut to this massive Brachiosaurus. They were fucking huge. Imagine them just walking around. And Grant's like, it's a dinosaur. And then Ian Malcolm goes, you crazy son of a bitch. You did it. And you'd been studying these things for years. Gosh, your little heart would be pitter-patter, pitter-patter. And now the lawyer is like, we're going to make a fortune with this place. So then Alan's like, how fast are they? And John just casually is like, well, we clocked the T-Rex at 32 miles an hour. And they're like, excuse me? What did you just say with your mouth? Huh? And Alan Grant he faints. He basically collapses onto the ground. And then we get the iconic, welcome to Jurassic Park. Were you guys dinosaur kids? I was a big dinosaur kid. I loved all the toys. I still have a toy of a little Triceratops toy that I got when I was a kid. I still have it, and it sits in front of my TV right now. And then when my brother got to the age of being into dinosaurs, he was a big dinosaur kid. So then that revamped my little dinosaur love. So now, back in the Jeeps, we are at the main, what is this? The main building of the park. And so we go in, and there's, like a big T-Rex bone structure hanging from the roof. I am obsessed with museums that have dinosaur bones. I love them. If you want to take me on a date, take me to a fucking dinosaur museum. So they're going into this little theater. This bit's great. I just want to play the clip.
Mr. DNA, where did you come from?
From your blood. Just one drop of your blood contains billions of strands of DNA. A DNA strand, like me, is a blueprint for building a living thing. And sometimes animals that went extinct millions of years ago, like dinosaurs, left their blueprints behind for us to find. We just had to know where to look. 100 million years ago, there were mosquitoes, just like today. And just like today, they fed on the blood of animals, even dinosaurs. Sometimes, after biting a dinosaur, the mosquito would land on the branch of a tree and get stuck in the sap. After a long time, the tree sap would get hard and become fossilized, just like a dinosaur bone. Until Jurassic Park scientists came along.
So yeah, DNA guy is like, there's obviously holes in the DNA because it's so old. And then to fill the gaps, we use frog DNA. So they go into the lab. We meet BD Wong. What's up, dog? He's in Law and Order. So he plays Wu, who's like the head scientist of the thing. So they go over to this platform that has all these little eggs on it. And one of them is beginning to hatch. Fucking Hammond is like, I must be present at the birth so that I connect with these animals and I'm the first thing they see. Bitch, they don't give a fuck who you are. You are a meat sack that they want to chomp on. Wu is like, you know, we are conscious and careful about population control. So there's no unauthorized breeding in Jurassic Park. And they're like, huh? How? Wu says because all the animals in Jurassic Park are female. We've engineered them that way. You know what? Hey, I probably would have done all male, okay? Just because all female, there's definitely gonna be a womb and you don't know what the fuck can happen. But take out the womb, probably better idea. But then that would make the movie very easy. But, you know, just logically. Ian Malcolm is real. He's like, yeah, that sounds cool and all, but like, how do you know that they are all female? Does someone go around the park and pull up the dinosaur skirts? And Wu is like, no, we control the chromosomes. It's not that difficult. And now Malcolm's like, yo, fucking hang on a sec.
It's not possible. Listen, if there's one thing the history of evolution has taught us, it's that life will not be contained. Life breaks free, it expands to new territories, and it crashes through barriers painfully, maybe even dangerously, but, well, there it is. There it is.
You're implying that a group composed entirely of female animals will breed?
No, I'm simply saying that life, finds a way.
So now Alan is holding this baby dinosaur and he's like, what breed is this? And Wu's like, it's a velociraptor. And Grant's like, excuse me? Cool, so now they're going to the raptor enclosure, which is fucking tiny, and we see this cow, full-on bull, being lifted into the air by a crane, and then it gets lowered into the velociraptor pen. We don't see anything, but we hear like raptor squealing and the crane is like shaking. And it's clear that the velociraptors have fucking eaten that bull.
They should all be destroyed. Robert Muldoon, my game warden from Kenya. Bit of an alarmist, I'm afraid, but knows more about raptors than anyone.
What kind of metabolism do they have? What's their growth rate?
They're lethal at 8 months, and I do mean lethal.
Do they show intelligence? With the brain cavities,
They show extreme intelligence, even problem-solving intelligence, especially the big one. We bred 8 originally, but when she came in, she took over the pride and killed all but 2 of the others. That one, when she looks at you, you can see she's working things out.
And then Hammond's like, who's hungry? Let's go eat some lunch. So now the lawyer's like, we can charge like $2,000 a day, $10,000 a day, and people will pay because this is amazing. And Hammond's like, this is not a park to cater for the super rich. Everybody in the world has the right to see these animals. And the lawyer's like, sure, we'll have a coupon day or something. Ian Malcolm is pissed off. He's like, this is fucked. I think what you've done is you've played God, and it's very dangerous.
Dinosaurs had their shot, and nature selected them for extinction.
Well, the question is, how can you know anything about an extinct ecosystem? And therefore, how could you ever assume that you can control it? You have plants in this building that are poisonous. You pick them because they look good. But these are aggressive living things that have no idea what century they're in, and they'll defend themselves violently if necessary.
Dr. Grant, if there's one person here who could appreciate what I'm trying to do.
The world has just changed so radically, and we're all running to catch up. I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look. Dinosaurs and man, 2 species separated by 65 million years of evolution, have just been suddenly thrown back into the mix together. How can we possibly have the slightest idea of what to expect?
We hear Grandpa, and these 2 kids run up. We've got Lex and Tim. Okay, there's 2 Jeeps on these tracks and they're splitting up the groups. Hammond isn't going with them. So the little kid, Tim, goes up to Grant and he's like, I read your book. And Grant's like, cool. Fuck off. Okay, we're back in the control center. We've got Muldoon and Hammond, and they're talking about a storm that's coming. There's a storm coming, Harry. And now we meet Ray, Samuel L. Jackson. What's up, dog? Fuck, he's cool. He's got a ciggy and he's fucking typing away in his little computer, beep, boop, beep, and he's got a Britney Spears headset. And so he's activating the Tor.
Hold on to your butts.
Which is little automatic cars that go around Isla Nubla. Huh? Well, Grant is in the car with Ellie and Ian. And they're in the back car. And the front car has the lawyer and the 2 kids. Cool bananas. Oh, fucking iconic motherfucker. We've got the Jurassic Park massive gates.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
What do they got in there, King Kong?
So, has anyone been on the Jurassic Park ride at Universal Studios? It's fucking sick. They recently did up the one in Anaheim, but the original one, the Jurassic Park ride, you'd be in these little boats. The gates open and it's beautiful. There's a Brachiosaurus. There's a little Stegosaurus baby. There's, all this beautiful... Then you come around a corner and things look a bit freaky deaky. There's a boat that is capsized and it's all torn apart. Then a motherfucking Jeep comes down off a wall and nearly fucking hits you in the face. Then these fucking Dilophosauruses come up. They're the ones with the frilled neck that fucking spit poison at you, come up, spurt, 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 and you're like, and then you start going up. And then as you're going up, this thing falls down onto you and it's a raptor. And then you go over this little hill and you go down, whoosh, and you come into, everything's beeping. Mayday, mayday, whoop, 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 steam. It's all fucked. All the shit has hit the fan. And then they're like, the T-Rex has escaped. You got to fucking run. But you're in this boat. And then as the doors open and you can see this massive drop, a massive T-Rex swings out so close to the boat. I can't even talk about how close it is. You look up and you're in the T-Rex's mouth and then you go whooshing down. And my nan always says, it's a vertical drop. I swear, we nearly fell out. You didn't, Jill. You're fine. You can watch these POV rides on YouTube. Sometimes they make your tummy drop and you feel like you're actually on them. If you could be any dinosaur, what would you want to be? Obviously, Velociraptor would be sick, but Pteranodon would be cool. Pterodactyl would be cool. What's the difference between pterodactyl and a Pteranodon? Google, help. Oh, I think one has they've got different heads. Ew, hideous. Imagine them just fucking roaming around the sky. Oh, I'd be scared. Pterodactys has a wingspan of 3.5 feet. Oofed. Do they have different heads? They're like alligator and a crocodile? I think it's just like that. They're not that closely related to one another. Huh? The cars have stopped in front of a big pen and it is the T-Rex enclosure. Can't really see the T-Rex at all. And on the fence it says 10,000 volts. So that mother is lit.
God creates dinosaurs. God destroys dinosaurs. God creates man. Man destroys God. Man creates dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs eat man. Woman inherits the earth.
We'll try to tempt the Rex now. Keep watching the fence.
He's gonna eat the goat? Excellent.
So the goat just sits down and it begins to rain. So the T-Rex is nowhere to be seen. Ian Malcolm is a chaos theorist. Chaos theory, which is that everything natural is just fucking chaotic. Nothing has structure or plan. We not prefer chaos in terms of like, let me ruin everybody's life. But sort of, we can adapt. Like, that's why we can adapt to stuff. You can plan out your day But in that plan, there's going to be things that come at you and you'll have to adapt to the situation. So Ellie is like, I'm not clear on chaos. What does it mean? Talk to me about it. And Malcolm's like, cool. So it simply deals with unpredictability in complex systems. Literally what I just said. I'm so smart. And then Alan opens the door of the car and leaps out. And he's like, see, I'm right again. Nobody could have predicted Dr. Grant would suddenly jump out of a moving vehicle. And then Ellie follows him. She's like, Alan? And then Malcolm's alone in the car and he's like, there's another example. And now I'm here talking by myself. So then they walk over and they see a Triceratops laying on the ground. There's some other Jurassic Park workers around it, sort of monitoring this very sick looking Triceratops. Now this animatronic is fucking good. And Sam Neill said that when he got close to this animatronic, he literally burst into tears because it looked so real. And he said that it was just so fucking magical. Alan is just like laying on the Triceratops' belly as it's breathing. So Ellie's checking out the Triceratops' eyes and she's like, oh, the pupils are dilated. It seems to be that she might have, a bit of food poisoning. So now Ellie's like, I'm gonna go check out these plants because I'm a paleobotanist, bitch. And she does a rap.
Is this West Indian lilac?
Yes. We know they're toxic, but the animals don't eat them.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
There's only one way to be positive. I'd have to see the dinosaurs dropping.
Dino. Dropping?
Okay, back in the control center, Muldoon's like, the storm center, it's coming. We're going to have to cut the tour short. The storm is going to fucking rip us a new bumhole. Oh, the best bit. So Ian walks up to a mound, a hill, if you will, of poopy.
That is one big pile of shit.
So Ellie's got massive gloves on. And she's just she's in there. She's in the dung. She's looking through this poo. And she can't find any of this West Indian lilac in the poo. The lawyer's like, can we go? And Ellie's like, oh, I might stay with the vet and finish up with the Triceratops. So the guy on the East Dock who is meant to get the embryos of Newman is like, dude, we gotta go. The storm is fucked. And Newman's like, it's gonna take me 20 minutes to get these things. And the guy on the dock's like, no promises.
Anybody want a soda or something? Because I'm going up to the machine. I thought maybe, I'd get somebody something. Because I've had all these sweets, and I think I'm going to get something salty. I thought maybe somebody would. I finished debugging the phones. I was going to debug, so I did. You told me that, so I debugged the phones. And I thought maybe I should tell you that the system is going to be compiling for 18 to 20 minutes. So some of the minor systems, they might go on and off for a while, but it's nothing to worry about. It's just a simple thing.
The security cameras back in the control center have turned off. And Newman has gone into where the embryos are kept. And then Samuel L. Jackson looks at his computer and he's like, oh shit, everything's going off. And Hammond's like, yeah, well, he said Dennis Nedry, that's his name, said everything would go on and off. And so Nedry's in the embryo thing and he's picking up all these little samples of dino DNA and putting them in the contraption that is within the shaving cream can. So yeah, all the systems are going on and off. Everything's fucking chaos, as Malcolm said. Now the cars are stopping and stuff is unarmed, which means that the perimeter fences don't have electricity at the moment. Okay, we've got Nedry and he's in a Jeep and he's unlocking the big Jurassic Park gates. It is pissing down rain. It's pissing down, as my dad would say. His car fucking hydroplanes into a sign, and the sign was showing you which way the East Dock is, but the fucking arrow on the sign can go any way, so he doesn't know where to go. You'd go east. Samuel L. Jackson is trying to get into Nedry's computer, and he's like, permission to access fences, and then it's like, permission denied. And then we've got this little hacker program of Nedry being like,
You didn't say the magic word.
Please! God damn it! Hate this hacker crap.
Call Nedry's people in Cambridge.
Phones are out too.
and now the phones are out. It's just chaos, everybody. It is hell. So we're back at the T-Rex pen and the goat is still alive. Then we hear boom, boom. And Timmy's like, do you feel that? and then he moves towards the little cups of water, and the cups are vibrating on every boom, boom. It's a beautiful fucking shot, and it is terrifying. The suspense. And the stupid lawyer is like, it's probably the power trying to turn back on. Timmy looks into the pen. The goat is gone. Dead goat. And then these cars also have amazing sunroofs. A goat leg falls onto the roof of the car. And because it's a window, you can see it. And so Lex is like, and it's all bloody. And then we pan up and see a massive T-Rex head swallowing a goat. And the lawyer shits his pants and runs out of the car. He runs into the public toilets that are near the T-Rex pen. And Grant is like, what do you think he's doing? And Malcolm says, when you gotta go, you gotta go. And then the T-Rex walks out of the pen and starts walking past the cars. The kids got a flashlight out of this emergency pack, and they're shining a light at Malcolm and Alan to be like, help us, help us, help us, help us. But the T-Rex's vision is based on movement. But if you stay still, it won't be able to see you. I think they've disproved that, so who knows. So now the T-Rex is at the car with the kids in it, and it is looking inside. It's like, oh, there's some little snacks in there. So then the T-Rex roars. Then the T-Rex headbutts the sunroof, and the glass comes down onto the kids. Now, the corner of the glass breaks, which wasn't meant to happen. The glass was meant to just come straight down onto the kids, but because the corner of the glass breaks, it twists and turns a little bit, and so the kids are legitimately, you would be screaming anyway, because having a massive animatronic dinosaur head coming down on you wouldn't need to act, So, but they are doubly scared because the glass broke. And so Grant and Malcolm are like, oh, fuck. The T-Rex is hungry. It starts trying to push the car over, and it succeeds. And so now the car is upside down. And so then Alan goes into the back seat and finds his emergency pack and grabs a flare. And he is like, hey, hey, hey. And the dinosaur spots him. Grant waves the flare at the T-Rex and it starts following it. And then he throws the flare into the pen, back into the pen. And the T-Rex goes to follow it. So we're like, yes, yes, yes. But then Malcolm gets out of the car with a flare. And
Hey, 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 hey! Ian, freeze! Get the cat!
The T-Rex slams, runs into the toilets where the lawyer is, and Ian Malcolm gets thrown to the side, knocked out. The lawyer is sitting on the toilet in the rain, looking at this T-Rex, and the T-Rex is like, grabs him, teeth in the gut, nom nom nom, lawyer dead, see ya. So then the T-Rex can still see Tim in the car, and he's like, I want to eat him, I want to eat this young flesh. It's pushing the car up onto the pen where the T-Rex was. Now, this is confusing. So the land was, all flat on the same level. But this bit where Alan and Lex are sort of getting pushed back into the pen, there's a massive drop. They're like, whoa, like they're going to fall down this massive drop. That bit is always like, ¿Qué pasa? All right, back in the control panel, and Ellie has gotten back. Hammond is like, Muldoon, can you go take a gas jeep and get my grandchildren back? Because I'm fucking scared that they're dead. And Ellie's like, I'm going to go with them. Samuel L. Jackson says to John Hammond, I can't get Jurassic Park back online without Dennis Nedry. And it's like, oh yeah, Dennis. Where the fuck did he go? He's just driving around and he is speeding through the rain and he runs off the road. His Jeep gets stuck on this massive log. Oh my God, down this hill is the East Dock. So he's going to winch the car down. That's his plan. Now he's slipped and fallen and lost his glasses. And they added a little sound effect when he slipped. It goes like, whoop. It's really funny. He brings the winch all the way down to this massive tree. We see a little head pop out of the side of the tree.
Nice boy. Nice dinosaur. Oh, thought you were one of your big brothers. You're not so bad. You're not so bad. What do you want? What do you want? You want food? Look at me. I just fell down a hill. I'm soaking wet. I don't have any food. I have no food on me. I have nothing on me.
Then the dino roars, and as it roars, this frilled neck comes out of its little neck bit, and then it spits this black goo on him. Nedry tries to jump back in the car, hits his head because he's blinded, First of all, he doesn't have his glasses on, so he's already, blurry. And then he gets fucking paralysis goop in his eye, falls down. The shaving cream bottle falls out of his pocket, rolls down into the mud, and then Dennis wakes back up, gets back in the car. The dino is in the car with him. And then we just see the Jeep shaking and Dennis screaming. So now we're back with Alan and Lex, and they are down under the tree where Timmy is still in the car up in the tree. So Alan's climbing up the tree and he gets to the car and he's like, Tim? And Tim's like, I threw up. As Alan reaches over to grab Tim, he puts his hand on the wheel and turns. So then one of the tires turn and now they start to climb down. So now a branch breaks and the car wobbles. And Alan's like, oh, fuck, let's go.
Faster, Ted!
Well, we're back in the car again.
Oh, at least you're out of the tree.
So now Ellie and Muldoon have come to the T-Rex pen and they've seen just fucking the madness. And then they hear a groan and they run over and they see Malcolm. His legs all fucked, but he's okay. And then he says, remind me to thank John for a lovely weekend. So they've got Ian in the back of the Jeep and Ellie is still looking for Grant. And then she looks down and she sees the other car. And then she gets down there somehow and she looks at the car and she's like, Alan, they're not here. Oh no. But then she sees footprints in the mud and they're human footprints. And she's like, okay.
Anybody hear that? It's an impact tremor is what it is. I'm fairly alarmed here.
Come on. We gotta get out of here. Gotta get out of here. Now, right now. Go. Let's go. Hey. Start the engine.
Must go faster.
They speed off in the Jeep. Fifth gear, put it in fifth. But Ian is like moving back in the car and shifts the fucking gear stick up into second. Man, that'd be revving. Ian moves off the stick and he fucking floors it. So they get away. And there's a nice little bit in that where Muldoon looks into the side view mirror and it says objects in mirror may appear larger than in real life, whatever that thing is. And the T-Rex's mouth opens and goes to like, bite him. So we're back with Lex and Tim and Alan. Lex is like, what if the dinosaurs come when we're asleep? And Alan's like, I'll stay awake. And Alan looks at his dino claw and he's like, fuck this. Throws it onto the ground. He has seen it all. Back in the visitor centre, John is sitting at a table in the restaurant eating all this ice cream.
You know the first attraction I ever built when I came down from Scotland? It's a flea circus, Petticoat Lane. Really quite wonderful. We had a wee trapeze and carousel. They all move, motorized of course, but people would say they could see the fleas. Oh, I can see the fleas, Mummy, can't you see the fleas? But with this place, I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. Something that they could see and touch. Next time it'll be flawless.
It's still the flea circus. It's all an illusion.
When we have control again.
You never had control. That's the illusion. I was overwhelmed by the power of this place. But I made a mistake too. I didn't have enough respect for that power, and it's out now. The only thing that matters now are the people we love. Alan and Lex and Tim. John, they're out there where people are dying.
So it's morning and Alan, Lex and Tim are still asleep in the tree. And a Brachiosaurus comes right up to the tree and eats some of the leaves right near them. And Alan wakes up and he smiles. And then Lex wakes up and she gasps and screams and moves back. She's like, holy fuck.
It's a Vegisaurus, Lex. Vegisaurus. Can I touch it?
Sure. Just think of it as kind of a big cow.
I like cows. Here, girl. Come on. Up here.
And Lex is just covered in dino snot. Tim, Alan, and Lex are making their way back to the visitor center. And Tim is complaining about Lex because, like, she was annoyed that the Brachiosaurus sneezed on her, as you would be. And Tim is like, oh man, now she'll never try anything new. Alan's like, okay, just, go easy on your sister. And Tim goes, no, she'll stay in her room on her computer all the time. And Lex is like, I'm a hacker. That's what I do. And Tim's like, you're a nerd. They're climbing over these tree roots. And between two tree roots, Alan jumps over one and looks down and notices that there's a little nest of cracked eggs. And then he picks one up and he goes, do you know what this is? It's a dinosaur egg. And Tim's like, but Grandpa said all the dinosaurs were girls. The scientists said that they used frog DNA to fill in the gene sequence gaps. But some West African frogs have been known to spontaneously change sex in a single-sex environment. Malcolm was right. That sucks for the scientists. We cut to a fucking sex shot, if you will. It is sexy. Ian Malcolm leaning back on his elbows, shirt open, muscles shining. So there's no way that the system can come back on, remember? Because fucking Nedry's the only one who can do it. We could go in, manually shut down everything, the entire system, and that way it will reboot. So Ellie's like, will we get the phones back if we, restart everything? And Ray's like, yeah, sure. So Muldoon says, what about the lysine contingency? Let's put that into effect. And Ellie's like, what the fuck is that? Hammond is like, that is absolutely out of the question. The lysine contingency is intended to prevent the spread of the animals in case they ever got off the island. Dr. Wu inserted a gene that creates a single faulty enzyme in protein metabolism. Que pasa? Unless they're completely supplied with lysine by us, they slip into a coma and die. Hang on a second. However, it is shown in The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 that the dinosaurs can survive well without the crew giving them lysine by eating lysine-rich foods like chickens or soybeans. Right. So Hammond says, please shut down the system. All the computers shut down, all the lights shut off. Then he reboots everything, turns everything back on. Ray goes over the computer. It's okay. See that? It worked. But then Malcolm says, what do you mean it worked? Everything is still off. All the lights are off still. The reboot fucked up the breakers. I don't know electrical terms. You electricians out there will know what I'm talking about. But anyway, they have to manually override the power. So Alan, Lex, and Tim are out in the field and they see a herd of Gallimimus. Sorry, my bad. I said the antelope type before. Gallimimus. And Lex is like, are they man-eating meat-eatosauruses? And no, they're not. They are herbivores. And Alan's like, look at the wheeling. Uniform direction changes. It's just like a flock of birds evading a predator. And Tim is like, they are flocking this way. So they run. They hide behind this massive log and all the Gallimimus jump over it. And then the T-Rex comes out of the bushes and grabs a Gallimimus and starts ripping it like... my cats do that when they have a toy. They like shake their head and try and disembowel it. They've all moved to the emergency bunker. So Ellie's like, something's happened, something's wrong, because Ray, Mr. Arnold, which is Samuel L. Jackson, he went to go restart the power and he hasn't come back yet. John is like, you know what? Lots of stuff always goes wrong. When they opened Disneyland in 1956, nothing worked. And Malcolm's like, John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean ride breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists. So Ellie's like, something went wrong. I've got female intuition. Everything feels bad. I'm going to go get the power back on. I'm going to go check because, the power isn't back on. Mr. Arnold hasn't come back. Something's all fucked up. I'm not an idiot. Muldoon's like, you can't just stroll down the road. And now John's fucking mansplaining. He's like, don't be too hasty. He's only gone, looks at his watch, fucking ages. Actually, Muldoon is like, I'm going to go with you. So he opens his cabinet and grabs a motherfucking hectic gun. And then John goes, it should be me going. And Ellie's like, why? And he's like, well, I'm, and you're,
Look,
Come on, let's go.
we can discuss sexism and survival situations when I get back. You just take me through this step by step. I'm on channel 2.
Oh my God, I fucking love her. Gives him the walkie-talkie. Cool, so Muldoon and Ellie are outside. And it's daytime. It's probably fucking 10 in the morning. No one slept. Everybody's dead. Fuck me. It's like camp. Okay, they're walking past the Velociraptor encounter. No thanks, I wouldn't go that way. And they notice, holy fuck, that the Velociraptor fence is broken. So not only, the T-Rex is wandering around, but at least you get a little bit of a warning when the T-Rex is coming because you hear the thump, thump, thump. But a fucking raptor hanging around? And how many are there? There's 3? There were 8 originally. I think the alpha female ate like 5 of them. Just killed them all and just wanted like 2 friends. Am I an alpha raptor? Because I only ever have 2 friends at a time. So Ellie spots the shed and she's like, I can make it if I run. And Muldoon's like, no, we can't because we're being hunted. So he's like, okay, run towards the shed now. And Ellie fucking books it. She's going. Go, babe, go. And she makes it. Then she walkies John. Yeah, I'm in. Cool. So Alan, Tim, and Lex are back at the T-Rex fence. Is it? Maybe it's just a perimeter. So Alan looks up and the lights that would indicate that the electricity was on, they're not flashing. So he grabs a branch and he throws a branch at the fence, and that should give an indication of whether it's on. Also, if you are ever wondering if an electric fence is light, what is it called? On. Check the voltage. If it's 10,000 volts, don't do this. But you can always get a blade of grass and hold the blade of grass up to the electric fence and it will send a shock through, just a little shock, not as much as it will get you and hurt you. Is it lit? I feel like that is the right word. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm not an electrician. So Alan goes to touch the fence and he grabs on and he goes, ah, and shaking. Oh my God. And the kids are like, ah. And then he smiles and stops. And they're like, that's not funny. So they start climbing up the fence. So we're just flipping back and forth between Alan, Tim, and Lex climbing the fence and Ellie in the shed.
Now, under the words contact position, there's a round green button which says push to close.
Push to close. Okay.
Push it. Now, Ellie, the red buttons turn on the individual part systems. Switch them on.
And it's like, oh, wait a minute, hang on. If she turns everything back on and they're still on the fence, they're going to be blown to smithereens. So Ellie has to click all these buttons to switch on everything individually. And we go all the way down this list and then it says perimeter fence. And that's where Timmy is still stuck on the fence.
Let go now!
Tim, you're going to have to jump.
You crazy? I'm not going to jump! Tim, do it, Dr.
Let go! I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3!
I'm gonna count to 3. 1, 2.
Timmy goes flying off the fence. Alan catches him.
He's not breathing.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business.
A fucking velociraptor shoves its face right next to Ellie's through the wall. Oh, I'd hate it. That velociraptor was just hanging out behind all those pipes that whole time. She is running up them stairs and that velociraptor is after her. She takes a little break for a little cry, as you'd need to, and then she keeps going. So Muldoon is just chilling in the forest. He's trying to find these raptors to hunt. So he sees one in the bushes just sort of frolicking. He gets his gun ready and he's sweating. He is sweating. He's trying to be as quiet as he can because they can hear you. And he lines up his shot. And then through the trees right next to him, doors, dinosaur head.
Clever girl.
Famous last words. Kills him. So Alan's giving Tim CPR and Tim starts coughing. He's good. Whew. And his hair he looks like Seamus from Harry Potter. Okay, thank fuck. Lex, Tim, Alan, back in the visitor's centre. We can hear Alan being like, Ellie. She walks up the hill and can see him and he turns and he's like, oh, thank God. And then they run up to each other and they hug. So the kid's munging out, eating ice cream, eating cake, eating jelly. And Tim's like, smile, 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 eating. Then he looks up and his face drops. and his sister Lex is holding this spoon with green jelly and it starts shaking. Trivia: the actress who plays Lex, she couldn't really do the shaking as big as what Spielberg wanted it. So they had to get someone to hold her elbow and shake her arm to get the jelly to really wobble. Tim looks at her like, what? And in the background, there's that raptor painting on the wall, but over the top of it, we start seeing a shadow, a raptor-shaped shadow, move past it. So the kids run into the kitchen and they run down right to the edge of the bench.
It's just the 2 raptors, right? You sure the third one's contained?
Yes. Unless they figured out how to open doors.
The handle to the kitchen is opening, and on the other side is a raptor claw opening the fucking lock. So Lex is like, Tim, what is it? And Tim's like, it's a velociraptor. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, it's just one. And then calls in another raptor. Oh man, I'd be pooing my pants. So we get a shot of the raptor's feet under the counter, and it's got its big toes. I thought it was middle toe. It's actually like index toe. So one of the raptors flicks its tail and knocks a bunch of pots and pans off the top of the counter. So the kids use the sound of that to crawl as fast as they can around the other side of the kitchen. And the velociraptor can see her and it starts charging towards her and she's screaming. And then it jumps at her, but it hits its head. And we're like, huh? But then we figure out that the velociraptor was just seeing Lex's reflection. And so she gets away. But Timmy's still there. And he looks over and he notices that a freezer is open. So he makes a run for it. And the other raptor, the one that didn't hit its head, spots him, charges after him. The raptor follows him in, but because it's all icy on the ground, the raptor slips. And Timmy gets up and shuts the door. And they lock it in. So that one's in the freezer. So one's knocked out. Oh, no, it's not. It pops its head up and watches them run out of the kitchen. So the kids are gone. The kids run out of the kitchen and they meet up with Ellie and Alan. And she's like, it's in there. And Alan's like, cool, let's leave it. And everybody goes back to the control room. All the power's back on, but the system, the program, has to be rebooted. So then Lex, computer hacker Lex, turns, looks at the computer. And she's like, my time to shine.
Yes! Yes! This is it!
What works?
Phone, security systems, you name it, we got it.
We're back online. Then Alan picks up the phone and then we cut to John and Malcolm back in the emergency bunker and the phone rings and they look at each other like, oh my God, are the children all right? The children are fine. Tell them to send the damn helicopters. So Ellie, Alan, Lex, Tim grab a ladder and climb up into the roof. Oh, I love that shot. So the raptor looks up and sort of starts sniffing where they all are in the roof. And then the reflection from the computer comes onto its face. So Alan finds a grate and he opens it and it leads out onto this scaffolding that has been used to hang the bones of the T-Rex and the Brachiosaurus in the foyer of the visitor center. And this velociraptor just won't quit. Lady, she is pissed. Tim falls to the ground and the bones that are hanging from the roof with pretty much fucking fishing line start to break. Everybody's falling and all the bones are falling down onto them as well. Ellie looks up and behind this plastic covering, she can see the shadow of a velociraptor. And it's a really cool shot because it's just like the white plastic with the velociraptor's head. It looks like a veil. And when my brother was little, he used to always be like, here comes the bride, in that bit. It was so annoying. So the raptors have circled them. So they're all huddled together. They're like, holy fuck, this is it. The raptor goes to jump on them. It's like fucking prepares, lunges, and then it jumps, but as it's in the air, chomp, the T-Rex fucking grabs it midair, takes a bite. T-Rex saved the day. So the other raptor is like, hey, that's my friend, and runs and jumps on the T-Rex's neck. Everybody runs out of the visitor center, and as they do, John rocks up with Malcolm in the back of this Jeep that has no windscreen anymore. The Jeep is just fucked. Alan says to Hammond, I've decided not to endorse your park. And Hammond goes, so have I. Hammond takes one last look at his island, but now we're back in the helicopter. Everybody's face is just down. They've had a rough weekend. Ellie and Alan look out the window of the helicopter, and this beautiful score by John Williams plays. And they look out and they see some pelicans flying through the air. Look at that pelican. That is a fucking dinosaur. Cool. So that was it, based on the novel by Michael Crichton. Thanks, Michael. There's a credit in this called Dinosaur Supervisor. And you've probably seen that meme, but it's like, where the fuck were you the whole time? That movie, I can watch that movie over and over and over and over and over again. I don't get sick of it. I love dinosaur movies. If there's a movie with a dinosaur in it, I'm there. Alrighty, see ya. Good night. Don't let the velociraptors bite.